A new episode of JJK just hit, and let me tell you, it was an episode of all time. Once more, Mappa continues to set up the future events of this arc, and we see that in this episode there is a lot set into place, some really solid action sequences, and a nice team up with Itadori and Megumi. So let's break down this episode from stem to stern. If you're a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, then you are in the right place, my friend. Soon we have a lot of really big videos coming up, including a new AOT What If, and as well even more, so get subscribed and drop a like. Let's get into the episode. So Megumi, Itadori, and Ino start off the episode. They punch the barrier to basically see what they're dealing with. I love how Ino immediately takes note of Itadori's strength, that already he is capable of giving Nanami a run for his money, which is really impressive. And this is important as this was not the case in the first season. So it shows that Itadori is growing stronger and more into his role as a sorcerer. And Megumi takes note that since this barrier is so strong, they'll have to find another way to deal with it and take it down, as they can't get anywhere without taking down the barrier, of course. But I do love how Itadori kicks the cursed spirit and does this beady eye face and is like, huh? Why not? So they explain in so many words what is going on with the barrier. So take note, this veil is to keep sorcerers out, but it also means whoever raised it is within it, usually, because veils by nature are only veils because they hide something within it. However, they discuss the possibility that something is outside the veil, and for that reason, and there has to be something that stands out, which they then set their eyes on a giant office building. And I generally like how they set up this shot with all three wondering where it could be, only for them to turn around and stumble onto where they need to go. It's very smart. Keeps the pace up. So now we get into, really, honestly, the hype portions of this episode, which is literally just everything after this. On top of the building are three sorcerers. One is named Awasaka, and he looks similar to the Iron Sheik, so I love his design already. But they have a plan to deal with anyone wanting to get through to them, so they set up transfigured humans in the building to stop anyone coming. And just thinking about how they transfigured those humans, man, that's just grim and dark. It really brings your mood down. However, thanks to a freaking killer moment where Itadori and the others, thanks to a callback to Maki's wires, blindsides the villain in a really awesome scene. And I love how Akutami seemingly always tries to set up all these really basic anime tropes, like fighting through a building of monsters, only for him to subvert your expectations and go, nah, we skipping that shit. We ain't doing that stupid shit anymore. So I just really appreciate it. And they also find the source of the barrier, which all it needs is someone to pour cursed energy to it to use it, but as long as they destroy these veils, they'll actually be good. But even destroying them, they can't seem to bring down the veil. So this is when Itadori continues his onslaught against Awasaka in a really, just quite frankly, really good moment. And take a look how this wire is animated and this scene is filmed. It's just so fluid. And this is because Hayato Kurosaki debuted for key animation in this episode of Season 2. He's most notable for doing episode 18 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, yes, that one, and as well key animations for JJK 0. Needless to say, this is the man responsible for this amazing episode. As well, we get some nice focus on Ino, who wants to become a first grade. This looked really cool because of how they illuminated Ino in his mask. I mean, to me, it just looks so ghoulish. And it is the spooky season, so... But, however, Itadori and Megumi then confront Awasaka. We then have a little bit of a flashback with Ino and Nanami, which the latter tells him he could easily become a semigrade as they sit down to eat together. Though, I actually really like Ino here because he really wants to do the right things and sees Nanami as a motivation to do those right things. I like this so much because he's not exactly naive to things, he just wants to do the right things that help others. So, in other words, he's not naive, he is selfless. I also like how he pushes for Nanami to be the one to promote him, showing the character of Ino all around. He's just a generally cool dude, and yep, death flags. But really, honestly, this scene is the backbone for Ino's character as we launch into his fight. Atop Shibuya Tower, Ino channels cursed energy, triggering his natural skill known as Auspicious Beast's Summon, This is basically a seance curse technique, which enables him to transform into a spiritual medium by concealing his face. This grants him the power to call upon and utilize the skills of 4 auspicious creatures: Kaichi, Reiki, Kirin, and Ryu. This is shown off so well as we see it take off a chunk of Ogami's grandson, and it's just, man, it's so hard to watch, but also you can't turn away. So first, Ino summons Kaichi, leading to the firing of a horn-like projectile with homing missile capabilities. Then we see Ogami's grandson selflessly protect her, using his body as a shield. I mean, this guy loves his grandma, though Ino is urgent in wanting to take him down, and so he immediately launches into the fray once more as Mappa makes mundane water look like literal sex. And, well, we have the fight continue with Awasaka in a really good looking scene where it seems at first that Awasaka is losing, but then pulls out a blade, slashing Itadori, but they block that by throwing him into a building. And what's even crazier is that even after all of that, he still has 0 scratches on him. So during this moment, Ogami begins an incantation, following her hands in prayer with her beads. Then we see her grandson swallow a vial with bone in it, but this is not just any person's bone. This is Toji Zenon's, as Toji's, well, the way that I can describe it is his body takes over the grandson's, and finally, after much too long, Toji is back, you boys. This was a great way to bring this character back, and I hope we see him again throughout this arc, and this is not just some one-off curse technique thing where he, goes away after some amount of time. It would just be unfortunate. However, we see something incredibly weird, which is a schoolgirl showing her dad her new school uniform, and he tells her that she will end up just like her mother, so she sits on his lap, kicks her legs, getting more comfortable the longer I am watching, but thankfully I get my wish, but not in really the way I expected, as it's revealed it's Ogami who took over the girl's form, killing the girl before, and, well, killing the dad. And at this point I was like, nah, no way these mega dicks are going to die. They're done. Awasaka is also in this as he skins the, I guess, disembodied head of the father, and just truly disturbing stuff as we see he already did so to the daughter before. However, this is also where we learn how they were brought onto a bounty to kill Gojo for 100 million yen, but things don't exactly go as planned. Gojo, even as a boy, is able to sense and spot the two, which sends shivers down their spine, as Gojo just looks back up at the camera with a piercing glaze. Ugh, super good stuff here. I also like this scene because they compare Gojo's birth to a literal revolution, so that too, but basically, the power scale from that point onward became defined all around Gojo, so this is an awesome scene. So Itadori and Megumi continue their fight, dealing some serious damage, but still, no damage at all on him. So Megumi obviously figures it must be a cursed technique, but not something like damage nullification. This guy is also an opportunist, too, as without Gojo being sealed, well, he probably wouldn't even be around, and just shows that this guy in every single way is a scumbag even before the murder bits. So Megumi uses a cursed technique to summon bunny rabbits, and let me tell you, I was not thinking it would end the way it did. My mind, well, went to something from ReZero Season 2. I also like how Itadori picks up one of the rabbits. My headcanon is just, he thought it was too cute, as he and Nobara obviously love animals. Though, Ino, upon seeing Toji, immediately tries to figure out what is going on, so Toji simply just picks up and bitch slaps Ino like a freaking JoJo character. I mean, are you kidding me? JJK Season 2 is a 10 out of 10 just for that moment alone. I was wheezing, y'all. I was wheezing like a horse stable. So, back with Awasaka, who is trapped inside his soft, fuzzy, warm, and cuddly prison, uses this to Megumi's advantage to drop a literal elephant onto Awasaka. The best part of that is it's called Max Elephant. The 90s never left, y'all. But they pick up the pace with this fight afterward as we see this nice tandem attacks from Itadori and Megumi, which was just so freaking badass. I felt like I was flying with how the music played, and as the scene slowed down again right before this, his death to give a monologue. I mean, oh my god, it was all so good. And we just got to give Hayato the respectful golf clap here. What a legend. Megumi then figures out how they were able to defeat Awasaka, so let me break it down for you. His ability is called Inverse, and it's quite a unique ability. Awasaka's technique operates inversely, meaning it weakens powerful attacks and strengthens weaker ones. But it has both minimum and maximum impact limits. To defend against opponents, Awasaka employs cursed energy atop this inverse process, effectively nullifying their attacks. So, the fight ends with Itadori giving him a punch on the nose, which shatters it, and I love the sound of the flesh hitting each other. It sounded like a little clap. This was also a fun way to end the episode too, mostly because they did the classic anime repeating things you'd see in the 90s. Hey, the 90s never left. I just gotta say, this episode was straight up lit, y'all. Honestly, I really undersold it in the intro because I really ended up enjoying the action, and it was actually one of the better fights of the season so far. Also, big ups to Hayato for coming in major clutch for his action sequences. Really, truly can't wait to see what else he does in the future for this season. You think after episode 18 in the film that he'd be on it more, but then again, Mappa is probably literally working this guy to death already. So, also, if you want me to talk more about the recent behind-the-scenes Mappa news, then yeah, drop a like and most importantly, of course, leave a comment. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't, do drop a like and get subscribed, as trust me, these upcoming JJK episodes are going to be wild and you don't want to miss when I drop a new JJK video. Financially support the channel by becoming a patron. There, you'll gain access to my mega One Piece arc reviews. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.